It has been a turbulent year for Vuyo Tutu and his team. Never did he ever think dropping off so many deliveries a day would ever happen again. It's only 9 a.m. and he's already off to make a delivery, one of many for the day. But things haven't always been this smooth sailing. His company Veg2U was established beginning of 2020. It hit off immediately, with some days so busy, making it impossible to handle the inflow of customers. When the pandemic hit the country, they feared this newly founded company would fail. However, the opposite happened. With people forced to stay home and advised to eat healthy, having fresh fruit and vegetables delivered to your door became the new normal. The business plummeted, opening more doors for the company. But this joy was short-lived once certain restrictions were lifted. This did not deter this entrepreneur.
Towards the end of the year, we saw that there was that change in consumer behavior and how consumers purchased our product, a drop in demand. So we decided to plan to shift to the more business-focused market. So towards beginning of 2021. We focused primarily on schools, so school feeding schemes, targeting school feeding schemes, as well as the public sector, serving the public sector. So we did service the local army here in PE, the local army base here in Port Elizabeth, in Forest Hill, for a month, and then we are working with schools for the remainder of this year, with 2 schools for the remainder of this year, and that's the focus that we want to take because it's more consistent. More sustainable market. It's got a lot more, potential. We feel so. Those are the types of decisions that you just have to make, as an entrepreneur. And when the challenges come, you just have to face it. And you can't give up.
An electrical engineer, Zain Imram, knows all too well what it means to adjust. In his field, nothing ever remains the same, and to make it in this industry, one has to remain innovative. And that's exactly what his company did when the pandemic hit, creating the first of its kind school bag.
As an inbuilt tracker, and tracker is then linked to the parents or guardian's cell phone app that we've developed. There's an SOS button, so if the child is in trouble, they just would hit the SOS button on the side of the bag, and that would alert the app, and after a few seconds would actually call a number that has been set on the phone app. And then there would be two-way communication between the backpack with the child and the parent.
Zain says, if anything, the pandemic has been one of the greatest learning curves.
To be diverse, and I've learned to make do with what I have. That I think that's the biggest mindset that I've had, biggest mindset change that I've had during the pandemic. It's really taught me a lot because I've figured out ways to do things that I would have never ever figured out. Methods in which we develop our things remotely. Solving problems during the pandemic. It's really opened our mind, and it's showed us that there's a million ways of solving a problem.
App developer Odwa Njalovane always dreamed of having his own hub where he trains aspiring software developers. That dream became a reality a few years ago, and things were smooth sailing. He got to give many young people a chance to work with the top clients in the metro. But his business was affected by the pandemic, forcing him to change his strategy and learning a few tricks along the way.
I learned that we were able to take whatever that was happening, use it in our best advantage, which showed us that we don't need a lot. And funny enough, it's one of our values, do more with less, right? Is it effective? Probably. Was it efficient? Yes. Because now we saw that we don't need a lot of things, and we can do with whatever that we had at that point in time.
These young entrepreneurs say this period of uncertainty has taught them valuable lessons. They hope this will inspire other young people to relentlessly go after their dreams and never give up, no matter what. Lerato Fekisi, SABC News, Gqeberha.